Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Absolutely podcast, the podcast specifically designed to help women defeat diet culture and live their dream healthy lifestyle. I am coming at you live today from a 110-degree Arizona heat. Clearly, I'm not outside if you're watching the video, but it has been crazy. I moved to Arizona now 2 years ago, and this is my third summer here. I'm starting now. Like, I don't know why that was so hard for me to figure out. But third summer here. And it always is a little shocking when the 107-degree heat rolls in. And I'm like, wow, we're really doing this. But I will say, if you are like, Abbie, you're freaking crazy. Why do you live in Arizona when it turns 113? You all can just suck it when winter is non existent here and I can be in a bikini in December. So there you go. And I know probably no one was thinking that, but I just wanted to justify my decision to move to Arizona while it's 110 degrees and my skin is actually burning off my shoulders. So, anyways, I did my first nighttime driving range session last night with my boyfriend. We decided we were going to commit to Wednesdays going to the driving range so we don't lose our golf skill, but you absolutely have to do like night things in Arizona. And one thing about me is my bedtime is like 9-10 p.m. Like that is how I feel my best is if I go to bed between like 9 to 10 p.m. I feel amazing. And so the summer heat kind of throws a little bit of a wrench in that. Like you have to get your walk in the morning by 8 a.m. or you're actually burning. And like I can't even take Archie outside, or you can get your walk in at night. So we have now become treadmill girlies during the day because I'm not about to go fry myself in this heat. Anyways, enough about the weather. I know no one cares about the weather, but wanted to just rant for a second because it's crazy out here. Like it's June 6th. Usually just doesn't happen till like July. So anyway, we are here. Today's podcast, I didn't even get into what that was. That was a whole rant about the heat outside. Apparently that's how much it's affecting me. But today's podcast is going to be a raw and real chat about body image that I think you all are going to really like to hear. And especially being a fitness coach, I think a lot of people think, oh, you just like look perfect and are confident all the time. And that just like really isn't the case. And I think it will be really helpful to hear kind of a little bit about my evolution with body image and my thoughts and feelings on it, and how I also coach some of my clients through this as well. Because as girls, we're going to have days that we feel sexy, phenomenal, amazing. And then we're going to have days that we don't feel so sexy, phenomenal, or amazing. And we feel like we are huge and large and you just hate your body. So I'm going to be talking about that today, but I wanted to do a little like weekend recap first, go into a little bit of stuff about me, and then getting into the topic. I have been really enjoying this. Honestly, when I just podcast about fitness stuff, I obviously love it, but I also like to just have a little bit of a podcast diary of what's going on in my life. And so you all get to know me a little bit better. But if you don't want to get to know me, I totally understand. That sounded rude. But if you don't want to get to know me, I don't care. It's okay. I won't cry about it tonight when I go to sleep. You can fast forward like 5 to 10 minutes, and that should be enough to get into the body image chat. But for now, I'm going to be talking about my friend's bachelorette trip this weekend. That was so much fun. So, in case you didn't listen to last week's episode, I was in Mexico for 5 days, got back, had a bachelorette party. I did not obviously plan the timing of these, they just happened to collide on top of each other. And so I was coming back from Mexico feeling a little bit tired and just like, I feel like my routine. I just feel so good when I'm in my routine. So I didn't really have a lot of routine the past couple weeks, I guess you could say. But got back from Mexico, went to my friend's bachelorette trip. Luckily, it was in beautiful Phoenix, so I didn't have to travel, literally go anywhere other than like 20-minute drive down the road, which was chef's kiss, phenomenal. And my friend Emma was having her bachelorette, and her wedding is in October, and I'm very excited for it. But Emma is also a fitness coach, and she is absolutely lovely and such an amazing person. And at this bachelorette was a bunch of other like fitness girls, except for like a couple of the girls. But it was such a just fantastic time. so drama free, just so much fun, so many laughs, and just like really lit me up as far as like reminding me why I do what I do and how it's just so important to have people in your life that are similar to you and like share similar beliefs and stuff. It was so funny, just all of us in one house, like with all of our habits. Like we had our water, we were going to bed early, we were having our meals during the day, making sure we're hitting our protein goal. And so it's just funny to be with like gals just like me. And whenever I do hang out with other fitness girls, it's just always so much fun, and I'll just get it. But definitely no drama. I think I have this like kind of belief in my head, like with girls, there's usually drama just because I have been involved in a lot of drama in my life that I literally one thing about me is I hate drama, especially with girls. Like I hate girls that stir the pot. I don't like girls that are like love the drama, love to gossip. Like I don't like that energy. I don't endorse that energy. So it's always something when we do things with a bunch of girls, it's like a risk. But this was so opposite. This was just like so much fun, so many giggles, just an amazing time. So I wanted to kind of give a brief like recap about what we did because it was such a fun bachelorette. My friend Kelsey, who's also a coach, planned the whole thing here, and she just is amazing. And we actually decided that she's going to start a bachelorette business. If she's listening to this, she's gonna be like, Abbie. But we were just like laughing about like how she should definitely start a bachelorette business, planning bachelorettes, because she was so awesome. She had the spreadsheet, she had the events up, she had everything, and we kept like laughing about everything, like being like, oh, that's an add-on for her company. Like, so it was just like such a good weekend with a bunch of inside jokes. I won't go too far into that. But Emma, we did a like lingerie and a rock exchange. So she loves rocks, and that's how she got proposed to, is like she was like looking for rocks, and she got proposed to while he was like look, I don't know, I can't explain this very well, but she's like looking for rocks in like a ravine, and then he proposed to her, and it was like really cute. So anyways, what we gave her for her present was lingerie, and then we picked out our own rock to give to her, and we signed it. So it was like kind of like a funny little gift like that. But I kind of procrastinated the whole gift situation because I was in Mexico. I realized that when I come back, I like needed to get this, and the one thing I hadn't gotten yet was the rock. And so one day I was driving home, and I literally like veered off the side of the road by my apartment and jumped into this like hole thing. I don't know. This really dramatic. I'm sounding really dramatic right now. But I jumped out of my car and I've picked up a rock off the side of the road, and I like don't know why it low-key just like felt wrong and like kind of illegal to just like grab a rock from the side of the road. But I grabbed that, and she was laughing so hard about like, oh my gosh, I wonder what Abbie's rock is gonna be, because I'm just not a rock gal. I don't know. But I picked a very smooth gray rock, and it was a great rock for her. So anyways, she loved the rock. That's the rock story. The next day we went to brunch. Oh my gosh, I am obsessed with Bloody Marys right now. That is like my favorite alcohol beverage of choice. Like it's just so good. I love a salty alcoholic beverage like dirty martinis. Bloody Marys pretty much are like my favorite right now. And this one we went to the Boozy in Desert Ridge, which I didn't know like was even there. And it's kind of close to my house. So I'm like, slay, perfect. But we went there, and they had a spicy vodka that they used in there, and it was just phenomenal. So we did a little boozy brunch, a pool day. Honestly, it was everything I needed. I got so tan this weekend unintentionally. So that was fun. And then we did a paint night where we painted like different pictures of her fiance. And it was so funny. I actually ended up having a pretty good painting for him, and I was very proud of it. I was honestly pretty shocked because the last time I painted like any sort of like portrait of that, I severely messed up on it. I was painting actually myself. We had to paint self-portraits in senior year of art 2, painting art 2. And I completely messed up the color of my face, and it was so pink. And so my sister and I still laugh to this day that like I totally goofed that art project. But we redeemed myself. She sent it to her fiance Cam, and he was really proud of me, and I won art night. So I am pretty much Vincent Van Gogh over here, but that was a really fun night. And then day 3, we did another pool day. It was honestly just so chill. And that's what I loved about these girls, is that like we weren't like going to the clubs and doing all that stuff. Like I would have been down for whatever Emma wanted to do, but she was more so like, let's chill. We did a yoga day, and that was so much fun. We did yoga in the morning that day. pool. And then we went to dinner at Montauk in Old Town, which was really fun. I had only been there for drinks, and so it was kind of fun to get some food and stuff. I will say, like, the food was it was good. It wasn't like anything like crazy. So if you are coming to Old Town, it's a really good place to get drinks, though. I really like the vibe there. Fun. There's like a DJ and stuff live on Friday and Saturday nights, I believe. But we were all talking at the table like about drunk alter egos. And honestly, I feel like I don't really change when I drink, and I don't try not to like get hammered or anything, obviously. But we were just like talking about it, like laughing. And everyone agreed that my drunk alter ego's name is Tiff. So I literally started referring to myself as Tiff the whole night. And then sometimes I'd accidentally call myself Tish because of like Tish Cyrus. And apparently like that's just in my brain. So I would call myself Tish or Tiff. And it was just hilarious. So now like I've just embodied this personality Tiff within the girls. So you can call me Abbie, you can call me Tiff, you can call me Tish, whatever one you want. But all the girls went and got tattoos, except for like me and a few of the other girls. I don't have any tattoos. So I don't know. I just don't know if I'm really a tattoo girl. Not that I have anything against tattoos. I just like don't have anything I really love and want to get. So I just kind of stood back, but Tiff was in the tattoo shop, and it was just so funny. I had this little like leopard dress on and just like looked out of place, but it was fun. I feel like that it was like the vibe of that. And then we got home, and I put on my green Skims matching hoodie set that is so cute. When I first bought this, I bought this on Black Friday, and I was super excited to wear it. And this was around the time that the Squid Games episodes came out. So I put it on, and I was like hanging out with my boyfriend, and he's like, "Why are you literally matching the Squid Games cast?" And to be fair, I totally was. This jumpsuit, I literally look like I'm on Squid Games. And so from then on, I call it my Squid Games fit. And I love this fit. I wear it all the time. I love myself in green. I love Abbie in green. Anyway, so I'm wearing this Squid Games outfit to the bachelorette, and the room that we were staying in was a bunk bed room. So it just was so fitting, like Squid Games suit, bunk bed room, all the places. So I kept like referring to myself as like player number 69, get to bed. And we were all like giggling about that. And then one of the girls came into my room and said that there was knocking at the garage door. So everyone was automatically just spooked, obviously. And I don't know, I was feeling extra confident in my Squid Games attire and my Tiff alter ego. And I was like, why not just check the garage and see if someone is in there? They're like, you can't open the garage, whatever. So I have one of my friends grab a knife, and I open the door, and Tiff's security made sure the coast was clear. There was no one in the garage. It must have just been a weird noise. So anyways, Tiff saved the day. Player number 69 saved the day. And that was the whole bachelorette party. It was such a fun weekend. And I got home on Sunday and was definitely a little bit tired. But I was so just ready to get back into the routine of things. Like, I had 2 weeks off, and I'm just ready to have a few weeks where I am just chill and just back to normal. And I've decided that I'm going to do 2 more weeks of the calorie deficit phase, and then I'm going to reverse diet from there. I basically wanted to do 8 weeks in total of being in a cut. And I also knew that I was going to be traveling for a couple of weeks of that. So I did allocate for a little bit more time. So I wanted just 8 weeks, like total of being in a deficit phase. So I'm going to do 2 more weeks, and then we're going to reverse diet from there. But it's always very tempting for me to want to spend more time in a cut just because I'm already in it, and I might as well like get more results or whatever. But ultimately, I am feeling a little bit fatigued from dieting, and I do want some more energy and want to push a little bit harder in the gym and all of that stuff. That is a little bit harder to do when you are in a deficit phase. So I'm looking forward to reverse dieting and sharing the journey with all of you. But that is kind of the plan for now. So now that I've done my whole life update, that was 15 minutes long, I want to jump into the body image chat that I had planned today. And honestly, this is something that I don't love talking about because it's vulnerable. And I know that every girl struggles with this to some extent. So even if this just helps like one person, it'll be worth it to share my story. But what really inspired me to talk about this is that I had a client come to me that was discouraged about her body image. And it just really reminded me of myself. And I gave her some really good advice, at least I thought it was good advice, on her check-in form of how to deal with her like kind of thoughts and feelings when it does come to her body image. And a big part of her struggle was feeling like she works out a ton, eats super healthy, and like doesn't look like it. And I totally feel that. I mean, genetically, different people will hold on to weight in different spots. People will build muscle at different rates. And that's just life. Like, some people are genetically just more petite, built like how you're like, oh my gosh, that's my dream body. But it's like literally just their genetics that got them there. And so that's something you have to kind of realize is that everyone has different genetics and everyone wants something that they don't have. And so I was having this chat though with her, and it just kind of made me realize that I definitely have felt this way at some times, like especially being in the fitness industry. I feel like there's a lot of pressure to like look a certain way, and I feel like I didn't really put that together for myself until recently, that like it is hard. My stuff performs better when I am leaner, when I am in a cut, when I am doing things that are not extreme, but like more like just kind of up that alley. And that, I think that's just the nature of the fitness industry, is that people love to see like people that are shredded and super crazy freaks of nature. And that's just part of it. So I feel like that's always been like an insecurity of mine, feeling like I don't look fit enough. I'm not like strong enough, whatever. And I know that's totally untrue. Okay. I'm even me just like saying it out loud, I'm like, wow, Abbie, like you're being so dramatic. But that's how I feel. Like that is the truth. And with fitness, I think that any fitness coach or any girl in the fitness industry can relate to me on this, that you're never going to feel like you are the epitome of fitness. Like you're going to have times, at least for me, that I'm like going to the bachelorette, going to Mexico. Like I am not the fitness coach that is competing in the Olympia. I'm not the fitness coach that is completely shredded or super jacked. I am just the fitness coach that is trying to live life. And I think that comes with a little bit of challenge of feeling maybe sometimes a little bit like, am I doing enough? Is my body image like healthy enough? Whatever. So it can be really hard at times just because of that. And I'm not like complaining right now. I'm just saying like this is the fitness industry. And I'm just saying this from the spot of I still struggle with body image stuff to this day, but I do feel like I have come a very long way from when I was younger. Like when I was younger, I really struggled with my body image. Like I never thought I was skinny enough, always was trying to get smaller, always trying to fad diet, and it led me down a lot of just negative paths when it came to my just body image in general and how I felt about myself. I think it was a mixture of like being a sister of three, or there's three girls in my family, but like being a sister of three, comparison in society, growing up around like these skinny tiny girls like on TV, and just like around diet culture, like with women I know in my life that were always trying to diet growing up. And I just like never felt like I had like a great body for some reason. Like I always like, even when I was literally like 6 years old, I remember like feeling insecure about my body. And I don't know why that was. Like no one told me anything. Like it was just something that I had built in my head. I'm also just like a very big perfectionist. Like I like things to be perfect and to like look a certain way. I've always just kind of like been like that, which had become an issue, especially like when I started in college, and I had like a very stressful season of life, which led me to like put on some weight, have some inflammation issues, and just like destroyed my metabolism because I decided I needed to do all these like restrictive diets and meal plans. And that just made me feel like 10 times worse about my body image and led me to feeling like very just lost in my fitness, my food, all of it. And I just like didn't know what to do. So I definitely have struggled with this forever. Sometimes have been worse than others. Sometimes have been great. Like some seasons of life, I'm like, I feel fantastic about myself. I feel amazing, like $1,000,000. And sometimes I feel like I just don't look good at all. And I know that a lot of gals will like look at me and think, oh my gosh, no, you're perfect and whatever. And like that just goes to show that everyone has their insecurities. Like Kylie Jenner has insecurities. People that you look at and you're like, that person is the epitome of body goals. they have insecurities. I'm sure Alex Earl, like walking the Sports Illustrated show, like had some insecurities. And so I think like when you're having body image issues with yourself, like realize that everyone is so focused on themselves. And rarely, like, do I ever look at a woman? I don't actually never do this because I know better than this and I just am not this way, but I never look at a woman and think, oh my gosh, like that looks so bad on her. Like I'm way too focused on like how I am like looking and feeling and like not even that anymore. Like I used to be more focused on that, but like no one is looking at you and judging you in that way. And if they are, they're insecure in themselves and they need to like get a grip on their own life. I'm gonna just take a sip of my coffee real quick. But I think that at the end of the day, realizing that everyone has their insecurities is something that is really helpful for me. Number one. But so kind of going back in my journey, I went through that really stressful phase in college, gained the weight, just destroyed my metabolism. I reverse dieted and I felt fantastic. I was eating more food, had lost around 10 pounds, was feeling great. That's really what started my love for coaching in the fitness space and doing all of that stuff. And I did a cut after I reverse dieted and I stayed at maintenance for a really long time. And I will say, even then, like I felt like, oh my gosh, I don't like my stomach. I don't like my thighs, whatever. I'm really excited to do a cut. So I did a cut and I remember going down so low. Like just for perspective, I was like 15 pounds less during that cut than I weigh now. Like not actually 50, like 10 to 15 pounds less. And I remember at my lowest weight thinking, oh my gosh, like I am not small enough. I'm not skinny enough. I need to lose more. And I look back at those photos and I'm like, Abbie, you look so tiny. Like, honestly, I don't even want to ever get back to that ever again. But that just really goes to show how much your brain just plays tricks on you when it does come to body image. And that really taught me a great lesson of like, it's never going to be enough. And I know that sounds like kind of dark and scary, like it's never going to be enough, but you're never going to get to a point with your body where you're like, I 100% all the time, every single day feel fantastic about yourself. I think you can overall feel good about yourself, but still have days that you are like, I don't really look my best this day. That is so normal. And what that journey really taught me was that like no matter how much weight you lose, how much muscle you gain, there's always going to be something else that you feel like you could change about yourself. And that's at least just how I feel personally. I mean, there might be women that are like, I feel perfect every single day. And like, that's great. But I honestly, hot take, think that's something that they're lying to themselves about. That it's very normal to have days where you feel fantastic and days that maybe you don't feel as great. And so looking back, and I just feel sad for myself about the fact that I thought that like I wasn't small enough when I was literally tiny. And I'm never going to get back to that spot. And honestly, I needed to get to that spot to realize that, wow, like you can get to that spot and still not feel like perfect. And nothing's ever going to be perfect. I feel like I was a little bit disordered in it anyway. And now I feel the best I ever have. I'm up 15 pounds more than I was at my lowest. Yes, some days I'm like, ooh, I feel a little insecure about this area, whatever. But ultimately, like I am so much more balanced. I'm so much healthier. I feel good in my workouts. I feel good in my training. And I realize that like I'm never going to feel amazing every single day. Like that is a totally unrealistic expectation for literally anyone. And one thing that really helped me out, I was kind of in like a bodybuilding phase for a second where not that I did it myself, but I was like interested in just like the lifestyle and listening to a lot of podcasts and vlogs of girls that did bodybuilding. And they would talk about the same phenomenon of they'd always kind of had body image struggles. They prep for a show. They're literally at like 10% body fat. I don't even know if that's accurate, but like super low body fat, 15% body fat. And they still feel like they need to lose more weight. And it really goes to show that like, even if you are at your absolute leanest, you still feel like some insecurities with things. And I thought that that was really interesting in that phase of life where I did get really invested in the bodybuilding lifestyle and learned a lot about it. Helped me a lot in the body image aspect way, because I realized like even these girls that are putting their bodies through the ringer, putting their hormones through the ringer, getting super lean, and you look at them and you think, holy moly, you look freaking phenomenal. they're even feeling like they're not adequate. I mean, it's probably same thing. You're listening to me and you're like, Abbie, you look fantastic. What are you talking about? It is something that every single woman will struggle with. So the main thing that helped me was realizing that everyone struggles with it. I'm never going to look perfect, and that's okay. That is part of it. But what I can do is control my habits and how I am treating my body on a day-to-day basis. And that's what I teach my clients as well, of if you are eating healthy, if you are working out, getting your steps in, getting your water in, like you're taking care of your body, that is the main thing that matters in life. If we don't have quality of life, you literally have nothing. It doesn't matter what your body looks like if you feel like shit all the time. And I remember having days where I felt terrible and when I was at my smallest. And like, that's not worth it to me. Like, I would rather have some days that maybe some body image comes up and I didn't even feel good back then. So I'm like, why was I even stressing about it? But I think the biggest thing for me is just taking care of myself and my habits and my health, and knowing that like body image is so silly. Like, it is crazy to me. Like, some days I'll wake up and I'll be like, oh my gosh, slay. I look amazing. I'm so excited to wear this little tiny outfit. And sometimes I get up and I'm like, ooh, this is a big t-shirt kind of day. And I think once you just realize that those days are going to happen, you're going to have body image days that you feel sexy, phenomenal, hot, fantastic. And then days that you're like, ooh, I don't really want to get dressed today. Like, those days are going to happen. But at the end of the day, what I realize is, okay, I'm maybe not going to look or feel my best some of the days. Literally no one would ever notice. Like, especially being a fitness coach, and women submitting progress pictures to me, it's amazing when I do review them and I'm like, no girl, look how amazing you look in this and this and this. And sometimes like, you just can't see it in your own head because your head is just playing games with you. And so once I just accepted that like that is going to happen, body image is so silly. Some days you're going to look amazing, some days you won't, and you literally probably look exactly the same. But if I'm taking care of myself day to day, that is the most empowering thing to me. And I know that if I'm taking care of my health, like that is the biggest thing that I need to focus on and the most important thing when it does come to my health and fitness. Not, oh my gosh, do I have like the flattest stomach in the face of the earth? Do I have the biggest booty? Do I have the skinniest thighs? Like, I really had to work on removing those thoughts of how can I, instead of thinking of those things, think about how can I be the healthiest version of Abbie? Because when you're the healthiest version of yourself, you reflect that confidence. And ultimately, body image is so silly. People are going to look at you and have just like their own perspective. But if you are truly fueling your body, if you're truly taking care of yourself, you're going to emulate confidence that no one's even going to look at your body. Like, they're just going to be like, oh my gosh, Abbie is freaking confident and she's so funny and she's so healthy. She's glowing. Like, that matters so much more. And obviously, like, feel empowered to change. Like, there's nothing wrong. Like, I'm literally like a coach that helps women lose body fat. Like, there's nothing wrong with wanting to change, with wanting to lose some body fat, with wanting to feel your healthiest. And that, at the end of the day, is totally fine. Like, you can want to change yourself, but you can't hate yourself in that process, right? You have to love yourself. You have to treat your body with respect, and you have to take care of yourself. We have one body. Your body is a temple, as God says in the Bible. And we have to take care of that. We have to speak nice words to it. If we're constantly waking up and looking at the mirror and thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so fat, you're not going to be able to change that. Like, you have to look in the mirror, and yes, you might say, hey, I don't look my best today. Like, some days I'm like, ooh, yeah, I don't look my best today, but that's not going to cause me to go down a rabbit hole of restricting myself, doing a ton of cardio like it would have been the past. Now I look at myself and I think, ooh, I don't feel my best today. I'm just going to just pick up how I normally go about things. Maybe I'm going to wear a little bit of an outfit that makes me feel a little bit better, maybe a little bit more baggy than I typically would. But that is really how I go about things with the body image. And I feel like this was just a total rant in itself, but I just have a lot of thoughts on this. And this is something that I still struggle with to this day. I have good days, I have bad days, but ultimately, if I know I'm taking care of myself, the confidence is what really comes out and exudes. So that is my whole chat on body image, my whole recap, everything today. Hopefully you all enjoyed this episode. Make sure to leave it a rating review. I would really, really appreciate that. And I will chat with you all next week. Bye.